Welcome back to the Chasing Tone podcast again with me, Brian Wampler.
Hi, Brian.
And my best buddy, Blake Weiland.
Hello.
Mr.
How's
Tone
everybody
Mob.
doing today?
I don't know. Let's ask them. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, guys. What's up? Oh, really? That bad, huh?
That's terrible. You should get that checked out.
Well, I can't believe your own mother would say that to you. That's... I mean, you're her flesh and blood, and she would call you that to your face. I mean, yeah, sure, you haven't had a job in 6 years, but, you know, that's the economy, man. It's not your fault.
Everybody lives in their basement till they're 50.
Everyone.
Right?
Well, except for me. I live on Brian's couch.
Exactly. Same thing, basically.
Right.
By the way, your sandwich will be in here in just a minute. So.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Did you remember to... You remember put the pickles on the side? I don't like it when the bread gets soggy.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm hurrying the best I can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You know, next time when I say I want a sandwich, that means yesterday. Like, I want a sandwich. Like, don't be dilly-dallying around, please.
I won't make that mistake again, Mr. Weiland. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If only life could be so wonderful.
Right. So let me get this out of the way for anyone wondering. It's Wampler, not Wampler.
This is true.
Like swamp, but Wampler.
Yes.
So if I see you at NAMM and you're like, I love Wampler pedals, I'm going to know right then that you don't listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
And you won't be getting anything for free.
And it's going to be disappointing. My feelings will be hurt.
Your feelings?
My feelings.
Oh,
yeah, my feelings, like my tooth fillings.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of podcasts, everyone listening, I need a gigantic favor.
Oh, yes.
Because Blake's podcast slipped up in the ratings ahead of us, and I can't have that. I'm just way too competitive. So I really need some. There's reviews from last year whenever things were completely, totally different podcast-wise. So if you like this podcast at all, please do some sort of written review. Not like 4,000 words, just like, hey, like the podcast sometimes or something like that on iTunes. That would help us a bunch. It helps people find us. And, it kind of makes it worth it, because if like 4 or 5 people only listen to this, then you might as well just call us and have a group call, and not,
right. It's a party line.
Yeah, not waste the time and doing any MP3 uploading or anything.
Right. Which that could be fun too.
It could.
Phone calls with listeners.
We could try that. Here, everybody call Blake's phone right now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, hey, I talk to listeners. I talk to listeners on the phone all the time. It's a great thing. But you know what? Yeah. Just here, I'll give you guys the word-for-word review that you can use. You can use the Chasing Tone podcast. It's almost as good as the Tone Mob podcast, and I left a 4-star review for Chasing Tone and a 20-star review for Tone Mob. Does that work?
I don't think that's what I would recommend necessarily. Maybe something like Chasing Tone podcast is probably the best podcasts. That solves all of life's problems, and I'm better off, better looking, and I have a better job thanks to the Chasing Tone podcast. Something like that would help.
At the very least, your tone's better because of it. I'm sure of it. If you put anything into practice that we talk about, you'll be better off for it, right? I mean, we're always right. You and I never wrong, right?
I took Blake's advice, and I live on my friend's couch too.
That's right. Right? I took my buddy's advice. My buddy Blake told me I should live on the couch of a pedal builder. So now I live with the Scots.
Exactly. That's great. So, to kind of totally change the subject away from what we've been talking about.
Yes.
I found something on YouTube that kind of disappointed me.
Disappointed you? Tell me more.
Well, apparently there's this gigantic culture on YouTube. I thought we had a big gear culture, but no. There are chewing tobacco teams on YouTube.
If we hadn't already briefly touched on this, I would call you a liar. But I know that you're not, because I looked into this.
You did look. Okay, so you have looked into it, and you saw that Outlaw Dipper is really a channel with like 400,000 subscribers or something crazy.
Yeah, Outlaw Dipper.
And he's like, and here's how you hide your chewing tobacco from your parents. You know, like, and that's got like 4 billion views, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna start a new podcast,
okay,
and a new video channel about people who play guitar and chew tobacco.
Right.
So
chew
that
tobacco.
way, chew tobacco. So that way we can capture some of that audience, and still talk about gear. It's a genius idea.
It's a good idea.
So,
And like I was saying earlier, I think you're really missing out on a prime opportunity. You could be, with every Wampler pedal, like you buy a Velvet Fuzz and you get a nice pack of, Skull Wintergreen.
get a Feist dip of chew with your pedal purchase.
Yeah, that's right. Every pedal purchase comes with chew tobacco.
No one's done it. I like being the first at things, so why not do it? Why not try it?
I got an idea.
What could go wrong?
I got an idea. This is gonna one up the chewing tobacco. I tell you, you're gonna like this. Yeah,
I'm listening. You got me. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, so you run a business that dabbles in technology and electronics, so you're familiar with said things.
Sure.
Well, what are all the kids doing these days? I mean, all of them. They're vaping. So we got to get Wampler vapes, man. Like, you need Wampler vape pens.
No, you say that. Actually, it's funny you mention that, because I noticed that a while back as well. And I thought, you know what no one's done that I saw? I don't think anyone's like mass-produced a vape in the shape of a guitar pedal.
No, and it's a natural fit.
And the problem is, like, I don't want to contribute to that. Like if I was, to be honest, if I'm like, screw it, I could make some money this way, then I would be like the first guy to probably make a vape into a guitar pedal. So
right.
Anybody out there who wants to make a dime, there's a market that's wide open for you. There you go.
Man.
Have fun at it. But
imagine the money that could be made just rehousing Big Muffs and TS9s and making them vapes. You'd make so much freaking money.
I think somebody actually was doing that on YouTube. I think that's where I came up with the idea. Like, wow, no one's actually done this in a mass way. There's just some guy that like did a couple on his own, So here again, we're not going to do that. So please don't contact me with your, don't send me a pedal and a vape gun or whatever, vaporizer, or whatever the device is called. Boy, I'm old, aren't I? Don't send those to me and ask me to do the modification, because I'll have to turn you down politely.
So what you can do instead is just send it my way. I'll do it. I have no issues with this. Like, I'll rehouse your vape into a Euphoria, and I think that's a good fit.
Have at it, my friend.
Please don't do that. I'm totally kidding. I will not rehouse your vape for you.
TomobVaporizers.com. TomobVapes.com.
It's a lifestyle, man. Don't make fun of it. Vaping's a lifestyle, man.
I understand some people are really into it. That's fine. I mean, like, I would probably prefer that rather than cigarettes. I guess.
Right. Right.
I myself not a big fan of the cigarettes, just because I don't know, it's bad for you, and I used to smoke, but I don't now, and it really gave me bad asthma problems.
Uh-oh.
Are you backing up a concrete truck?
I sure am.
I just wondered. Okay.
Yeah, I got a concrete truck backing. Just hold on, just a second. Billy's backing it up. There he goes. All right, now safely. Okay.
Oh, just wondered. So vapes and guitar pedals, wide open market, huge market, and I doubt we'll do it.
Yeah, no, it's not that cool. I mean, well, I don't know. To somebody it is, everything's cool to somebody. To me, it's just whatever.
It's astonishing to me. Like a lot of the videos surrounding like vaping and all that sort of thing. I mean, there's millions of views on some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, of course, you have like the Pro Guitar Shop stuff, which has and Chicago music. I mean, there's some channels that get a lot of views,
Yeah,
but nothing like that. You know what I mean? Nothing like Outlaw Dipper here. You
right.
know, Team Diptros. You know.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It just is so outlandish. I had no idea that was a culture thing. Like, I know a lot of guys that chew, and they're not like, look, they're not like, I'm a proud chewer. I chew because it's America. They just
Well,
they're like, yeah, I started chewing when I was a kid, and now I chew. You know,
that's the
so
thing. Like that, there's actually a channel, Team Diptros, and so I'm thinking like, what, like, how do you compete? Like, if you're a team, like, what do you guys do? Like, do you like see who could spit the farthest or something? Or
I don't
I mean,
know.
are there like championships for chewing tobacco? I don't know. But anyways, guitar gear.
Right. Anyway, yeah, we've went on long enough about that.
Okay, so 10 minutes in, let's talk about guitar gear.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got some new pickups this week.
You did.
I did for a Strat for my trusty Strat with the had the broken neck. It now has a new neck.
Oh yes, okay.
And their Tonal Concepts is I believe is the name of the company.
Nice.
And I just got them, so I haven't like put them through all the paces, but so far I really like them. Really dig them.
Sweet. Are they like a vintage flavored thing? Are they a little hotter? What are you thinking there?
Well, on this Strat, it's humbucker single coil.
Okay.
So it's not super vintagey. Probably it's a little bit. And this kind of contradicts the term, but it's warmer, but yet a bit more crispy on the high end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I got you.
So, and it has kind of like a blend control too, on the middle pickup rather than a tone control. It's like a blend type of thing where you're blending in. Like if you're on the bridge, I think you're blending in the neck. Mm-hmm. If you're on the neck, you're blending in the bridge. And that's kind of a cool sound too, in its own right.
You're blending in the bridge, or you're blending in... So, wait a second. I'm confused. When you're in the neck, you're blending in the middle? Is that right?
I believe, and I may totally have this wrong, but I'm pretty sure when you're on the neck, you're blending in the bridge. Oh. Neck on. Position 1 and 5.
Oh, okay.
So when you're in position 5, neck only, you can blend in the bridge a little bit. And vice versa. If you're in position 1 on the bridge, you can blend in a little bit of the neck.
I'm following you now. Okay.
Kind of a cool change for your normal Strat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was a pretty nifty thing.
Very cool.
And so far it's working very good. So I like them. Three thumbs up.
Brian's verdict. I like them. Yeah. Well, tarnation by shooting guard. Darn it, I like it.
I like them dadgum pickups. And dadgum pickups are pretty darn good. That's what I'm saying right there.
Right on, man. Well, cool. So Tonal Concepts. I'll have to check that out. I really, I dig the idea behind that. I love blend controls. Something about blends really is interesting to me, regardless of what it's on. Whether it's clean blend or blending two circuits, I like the idea of a blend.
Me too. Blenders make good milkshakes. So, yep. Me too. So you got anything for me before I just keep going off, shooting from the hip here?
Yeah, I had a new gear day recently. I got some stuff from a company called Electrofastus. Mm-hmm. You've heard of them? Familiar?
No.
They're a company that makes noise devices. And so, that's going to be right up my alley.
Yes.
I got the one they call the drone thing, which isn't actually a guitar pedal. It's in a big guitar pedal housing, but it's really its own kind of electronic instrument, where it's got like this series of oscillators that you can turn on and tune to like make this big wow crazy thing. So that thing's really fun.
So it's a jazz pedal.
Yeah, it's totally for jazz. Yeah, like jazz musicians. I think BB King used one. Actually, a lot. Pretty sure. It's most known for being featured in the background of Michael Bublé tracks.
Yeah, I thought I heard it. I thought I heard that there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right up there with their other one I got, which was the Guitar Disruptor. I don't even really know where to start with that thing. It's a fuzz with like this. I don't know what the control's doing exactly. It's labeled as the flux control, and it just makes the most scary sounding fuzz noises I've ever heard. So, having a lot of fun with that. And then that control is actually available to be controlled with an expression pedal, so you can get really crazy. So I just tried to explain two pedals that you have to hear to understand, and so yeah, go check them out. Electrofaustus, it's good stuff.
That's good marketing there. I like that. I like how you. I mean, if you own the company, you should be fired because you're basically like, well, it kind of does this thing, but it's pretty hard to describe. But it's cool.
And that's about the best I can do. Sorry.
What's the company name again?
Electrofaustus.
Electrofastest?
Faustus, like Faustus, I believe.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Crazy company out of New York. They make noise devices and they're rad. So there you go.
Nice. Huh.
That's cool. My latest gear stuff.
Okay, then. So my current gear right now, let me think. Besides my pickups, I don't have any new gear. I do got a guitar coming from Whitfield. That's supposed to be like a totally badass Les Paul replacement. So it's it's a little more telly shaped, of course, but the woods and the string, what do you call it? The dimension from the bridge to the key to the nut,
the
and all
scale.
That stuff. The scale, yes, thank you. That was the word I was looking for. That's all like Les Polish, So I'm very excited to try that. Hopefully, I get that at NAMM. I'm hoping to get that at NAMM here in a week or two.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see.
Oh, NAMM's in a week. That reminds me, I have to send somebody something.
A couple weeks. I got so we're recording this on like June 2nd-ish, I think, or so.
Yeah.
So like next week, I'll be taking a quick vacation with the family, and then I come back for Gear Fest, take a 2-day break, and then I'm off to NAMM for a week. So
well, good luck to your eardrums.
Two shows right in a row.
I'm not too jealous of you. Good luck.
This should be fun. Nashville's a fun town. Especially,
I really like Nashville. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, LA NAMM is cool. It's gigantic. Nashville NAMM is much more smaller and intimate, and everybody kind of knows everybody. So it's not like LA where like no one knows anyone. I mean,
and you have people like walking around in battle armor and stuff.
Yeah, it's nothing like that in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even see too many cowboy hats, honestly. So it's fun. It's just I don't know, man. I look forward to it. I like Summer NAMM. Winter NAMM, I tolerate.
I could tell by the look on your face when I showed up at your booth. You're like, hi guys.
It's just, I mean,
it's so overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming, and there's so many. It's huge, and there's so many different music booths that are all playing different stuff at the same time. That it's just a massive noise for like 4 or 5 straight days.
Exactly. So it's like being in the world's loudest, most annoying guitar center.
Yes, it's very much like that.
Yep, with flashing lights and stuff.
Yes, and with the drums all in the same room with you.
Yes. Oh, mercy. Veritas Guitars and Benson Amps, two local guys to me, were in my opinion, like the worst spot for a guitar booth, and they were like right across the aisle from drums. But direct, it was like, I went over there and visited him. Like, I'm sorry, Chris. See you later. I'm out of here. I can't take this. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna be here all day.
Yeah. So there's like different halls, right? Different separate. It's separated by a wall. So like hall A, B, C, D, and E, and all that stuff. And then a downstairs basement. But I think hall E, I think, is the one that has the drums in it. So it's a mixture of drums and manufacturers. The way NAMM kind of works, though, you start out in the basement if it's your first time exhibiting. Then you kind of graduate to moving up to the hall with the drums for a little while, until a spot opens up in the next hall, and you gradually try to move away.
Can you stay in the basement? Because that was my favorite part.
You can stay in there if you want to. Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages though. So I mean, if you're a gear company and you're really looking to get the big distributors and the big retailers, a lot of times you kind of need to move upstairs because the big buyers don't always hang out in the basement.
Right.
Now that's where a lot of the cooler, newer companies are. So it's there's advantages and disadvantages to it. It's fun to be down there. It's fun to hang out down there, but to actually do business, which is NAMM is actually for manufacturers to meet retailers and distributors, and then they buy your product and they make an order. So that's the whole idea of NAMM, actually.
Really? I thought it was for gear podcasters to come by and hound you for sponsorships. That's not what it's for?
That's a side benefit, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just thought that's why everyone was there. But
no. And there are the occasional, person that comes up and is like, hey, man, I play guitar. You should, give me some pedals. And I'm like,
you were like, so do the rest of my customers?
Yeah, you realize that's kind of what we do. If I gave everyone free pedals, then it would be a hobby, and I wouldn't have a business and be able to be at NAMM, right? So
it's okay. Your kids, you know what? There's like free lunch programs and stuff. They'll find some food somewhere. Don't worry about it. Just give the guy a pedal.
I think I've came up with a new way of handling, and all the people who sell gear kind of have like this problem of, and I say problem in a weird way because it's not really like, I mean, it's cool that people want your stuff, but we talked about this before. I mean, there's a time to seek free gear or an endorsement of sorts, and there's a time not to. So, when you get the blanket emails, it's like, Dear TC Electronics, I love your stuff. Please consider me as an endorsed artist. But, and it's like, they sent it to the wrong person. Like, we're not TC Electronics. So
we're like Dear Wampler Pedals, we love your work. Would you please send me a ditto?
Exactly. I love the ditto looper. Please consider sending me one. So I like to say, yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, I can send you some free stuff, but all I really need in return, I need you guys to actually come to my house and play a party for free for exposure. Just come on over to my house. If you can, bring some food to make dinner for us as well.
Right.
And play a free gig. And then I'll maybe I can throw a pedal your way or something since you're going to help me with exposure.
Right, of course.
So that's I think that's a fair trade.
I think so too. I've also seen the guys just simply go, well, absolutely, I'd love to give you a pedal. All you got to do is go right over here to this link and buy one.
Yeah. I can't do that, but what I can do is I can throw in a free guitar pick whenever you buy the pedal. And that's a joke because everybody puts guitar picks on their pedals.
Yeah, of course. So, anyways, let's go down to the topic, shall we? We're 20 minutes in.
Sure. What would you like to talk about today, Mr. Blake?
Well, you brought up something rather interesting, which somewhat holds true over here, but not for the two stores that come to mind. You were mentioning the fact that many mom and pop style music shops, the kind of like the main source of their money these days is actually not from selling guitars, but from giving lessons.
At least and I'm in Indiana, of course. So I'm noticing that trend more and more in Indiana. It's like they're not really able to compete with like the Sweetwaters and Chicago Music Exchange and like the pro the pro guitar shops and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So and people aren't really going to these small shops to buy that stuff anymore. They're just buying it on Amazon or wherever. So what I see them doing now, and actually a good friend of mine started a store in the little town that I live in, and we're talking like 10,000 people in this little town. It's not, no one buys high-end gear in this town at all. It's just not that kind of town.
Just you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's so weird that we're even there, because people like, no, whenever I even tell people what we do, they still don't comprehend it.
Of
like
course.
guitar pedals. What is a guitar pedal? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so a friend of mine started a music store, and I was like, okay, you can carry some stuff, but I'm just telling you from experience, you're going to sell like 3 a year here. But what he started doing is he started actually doing lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So, guitar lessons and bass lessons and vocal lessons and piano lessons, like all different types of lessons. And he's just killing it. I mean, he's just so completely busy and making great money doing that. He's hired other instructors to help him out. And, and talking to him, to me, that kind of seems like the new model of the mom and pop store. Maybe it's not new. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'm noticing that with some other mom and pops. They're kind of transitioning away from carrying too much gear and more into lessons and that sort of aspect.
Right. No, I think that very much is the case for a lot of stores. Around here, I don't know. Portland's a lot different than Indy or Martinsville. Portland's got a pretty hefty music scene. A lot of bands come through here. A lot of bands live here, or musicians, I should say. And it's a different scene. So I think that a nice music store actually does not too bad in Portland. And some of them do offer lessons. But the two I frequent, that's not their thing. They're loaded up with cool vintage guitars and nice pedals and interesting stuff, and that's what keeps them going. There are some other stores around here that do offer more lessons and stuff, and I wouldn't have any idea what their income looks like versus the ones that don't. But I can totally see why that would be a necessary thing in certain areas, because a third of the high school, classes, there's guys in there that want to learn to play guitar to get the girls, right? So they got to take lessons at some point.
That never works.
Oh no, it doesn't ever work. But don't say that. We need more guitar players in this world. It totally works.
That's true. It works every time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Like every time it works, like at least 70%. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't even tell you. My wife is so happy. She is just thrilled with my guitar habit. She just absolutely thinks that's the greatest thing.
I'm sure you come home and she's like, "I'm so glad you brought yet another pedal home, honey.
Yeah.
That's great."
Yeah, she says, "You know what? I just love that you love guitar pedals. I'm so glad that this is what you do." And I'm like, "I know, right? I could be vaping."
That's right. I could be vaping, or I could be on a dipping team.
That's right.
One or the other.
But yeah. Anyway, going back to that, I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's probably a smart business model, because I have an inclination that there's a lot more parents willing to buy their kid a cheap guitar and pay $20-$30 a lesson than to buy them, a $200 pedal every month or something. So it makes sense.
Could be. And I think it depends on the area too. I mean, like I said, in the area I'm at, the idea of buying a $200 pedal is pretty foreign to a lot of the musicians. I mean, really. I mean, there's still an enormous amount of people that are using like old multi-effects units, like from like 10 years ago.
Right.
And or even like old pods or something. Like, that's just fine. You're like, you ever heard of a fractal? And they're like, who? A what?
That sounds
What's
like if you got a fractal, you might want to go to the hospital and get it set.
right?
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's just totally, it's not really anything that anyone's into. I mean, I can't say anyone. There are some people that are into it, but nothing like out there in Portland or Nashville or I mean, other areas that are cooler than Martinsville, Indiana.
Right,
You
but
know what I mean?
you guys have a chili and a Walmart though, so you're doing all right.
We do have a Chili's and a Walmart. Yep, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah. Recently they put in a Starbucks. That helps.
Ooh, oh
Yeah,
boy, getting
yeah.
classy.
You know, the funny thing, that's the only coffee shop in town. Seriously, that's the only coffee shop in town.
Really?
Others have tried and have failed because people and that's like the cool hangout. Like, it's busy, it is packed all day long, every day. It's ridiculous.
That's fascinating because in my town, I don't know what the population is in my town. It's a lot more than 10,000 because I don't live direct in Portland proper. But
Right?
let me count of just the ones I can think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 that I can think of, and there's probably more. And my town is not that big. It's
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, and they're all doing pretty good.
Huh. You know what we should start doing is offering free coffee with guitar pedals.
Oh, you send somebody's doing something like that, aren't they? They send
I
like
don't.
a bag of like nice coffee or something.
I think JHS was. I think JHS was doing. I don't know if they did that maybe that was just like a Christmas thing. I don't know. Seems like they did that for a while.
It seems like somebody's doing that, or maybe with pedal board or something. I don't know. We're getting off track with the coffee thing.
I'm just riffing here with trying to make a living as selling pedals. You know what I mean? So I mean, no one's tapped into the craft brew market and tying that in with guitar pedals yet. You know, maybe you could make a bottle that's shaped like a guitar pedal. That's an option.
Oh, look at that! A big muff that's a growler.
Exactly. Exactly.
I would totally buy that if I seen it. Just saying.
I'm telling you. Would you? Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if nothing else, just to have it on your shelf, that would look cool. It'd be
That
great.
would. There you go, Mike Matthews. If you're listening, there's a new product for you.
All we want's 10% royalty. That's all we're asking.
That's all we're asking. You can make it payable to the Chase and Tone podcast. Mm-hmm. Good times. I don't know where we were going with any of this. We started talking about how music stores make money, and we went into how many coffee shops their town has. So,
I think
whatever.
I think it's just kind of contrasting the differences in towns, like where maybe music stores do sell more gear, and music stores don't sell that much gear.
And it corresponds with the amount of coffee consumed in said town.
Yes, exactly. I think that's the trick. If you're going to start a pedal company, you need to find a town where there's a lot of coffee shops. Right?
You know what? As stupid as that sounds, I don't think that that's a very bad idea at all.
That's what I'm saying. I'm coming. I'm helping. I'm trying to help my fellow pedal builders here.
So why don't you move to Portland and we'll fix this whole thing?
Portland's way too cold, and there's no beach.
Cold?
Yeah.
Cold? It can't be colder than where you're at, especially during the wintertime. It's going to be freezing over there.
I hate it here in the winter. I like it here from like June to August.
Oh, it's too hot in Portland from June to August.
Oh, it's hot here too. I just like it when it's hot.
Oh.
Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on.
Oh, I know something. This is more. Let's try to steer this ship correctly.
Sure.
I had a guy. He wanted me to tell you something.
Now's your chance.
Yep, it's the only chance I'm gonna get. Josh Hopkins messaged me on Instagram, and he said to tell you that the Euphoria is one of the most stupidly underrated pedals of all time. So there you go. I've relayed the message.
That's when I kind of raised my eyebrow and I'm like, thanks.
I don't know. I don't know. He thinks it doesn't. He thinks it doesn't get enough praise.
It may not. I mean, let's be honest here. The Euphoria started out as the Ecstasy, right?
Yeah, and he said that. He said Ecstasy / Euphoria.
Yeah. So first of all, stupid marketing on my part. Bad idea to name a pedal Ecstasy that had nothing to do with the guitar amp named Ecstasy.
Mm-hmm.
Second bad idea, not trademarking it. And third bad idea is making it ugly. What do you call the color of that? Ugly moss green.
It's not as bad as you're making out to be. I don't mind the color.
I think I mean there, you can see a shift in our pedals where, I mean they all started out as labels, right? Because I mean at the time I started, like, no one was doing UV printing. I mean you could get some stuff screen printed, but that is basically pretty much you're doing one color, and it was just a lot more labor intensive, and so I was doing a sticker thing. And then so when we did start doing UV printing, it kind of carried over what graphics we had there, which weren't good, because that was me in like Paint Shop Pro, which is not even Photoshop, and I was just like, I need to find me a font. Let me look through Microsoft Word here and find me a good font to use.
Right.
So I mean, not I would just graphic artistry is not my thing at all. So hiring Jason Wilding, and so you can see as he's doing the designs, like the latitude, the tumnus, basically all the new stuff we've done the past couple years.
Right. Did he do the Velvet?
Actually, Pro Guitar Shop did the Velvet.
Oh, well, it looks great. Nice job, guys.
Yep, it looked good. So we collaborated on it a bit, but yeah, I mean they're the ones that did the final design on it, and I was like, I like that direction. So we sort of not really like carried that theme through, but we're like, I like how the background velvet is kind of a matte finish compared to the glossy finish. So let's do some more stuff like that within our graphics, and so so now I think maybe in the coming years, I've been looking at a lot of paint colors, thinking, you know what, maybe we should like revisit how we're painting this stuff. Everything's all sparkly, and maybe that's our identity. I don't know. Maybe our identity is supposed to look like teenage lip gloss. I don't know.
When I think Wampler, I think teenage lip gloss.
So, but I mean, I do, I would like to change colors for everything and graphics for everything. But that's really like my ADD, where, everyone, for example, everyone asks, what's your favorite pedal? And I'm like, nothing on the line. It's probably what I'm working on the breadboard right now, because I build something and I move on, I don't know. So yeah, I'm open. I'm completely open to suggestions, though, like color. What I'd like to hear what people's opinions are of our current schemes, our current colors, names of pedals. Has been a big hot topic lately, hasn't it, Mr. Blake?
It sure has. Whew, it sure has.
So I think I kind of feel like the teenage kid that's getting ready to get out of high school and trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life.
Well, I watched this video that Brian Wampler put out that said, now's the time to take risks. So I think that's what you ought to do.
So what you're saying is I should start copying everybody else's pedal. I'm going to make everything look like Earthquakers from now on.
Earthquakers look pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that is a big point of contention for me. I really, like, with pedal graphics, I put a lot of thought into anything that I've been involved in, to the point where it takes way too long to put stuff out sometimes, because I'm just like, no, that's just not it.
Right.
But to me, it's worth it in the end, because then you never have to deal with it again. It's like, yep, that looks good. Like, I spent 9 months trying to get it to look right, but now it looks good. So there we go. And I think it always ends up being worth the time spent. And it kind of goes back to a process. I mean, you got Jason who's good at that kind of stuff, so this helps. But I don't know if he works this way or not. But with me, when I'm working on that kind of stuff, eventually I hit a wall. And we've talked about the wall before. And I got to walk away. And it always is for the better when I come back to it. Always. So.
Yeah, I can understand that. So with that, Blake, let's wrap up this week's episode.
Okay.
Because I actually, I'm in my mobile office right now, and I got to go eat dinner.
Your pick-em-up truck.
My pick-em-up truck. That's right. And if you're on my Snapchat, you saw a picture of my pick-em-up truck.
Right.
And
what kind of pick-em-up truck are you driving, Brian?
I don't know. This is a Chevy something or other.
Well, good man. At least you ain't driving one of them FOMOCO things. Let me tell you.
I'm not a big automobile person unless it comes to like hot rods. I love old Camaros and old Mustangs.
Ooh, I got a picture for you.
Yeah, but as far as what I drive, it's a 4-wheel drive truck because I'm compensating, and no, honestly, because it snows so much in Indiana, you pretty much have to have 4-wheel drive whenever you drive a lot, and I drive a lot, so just part of the gig. So, anyways,
everyone wanted to know that. Yes, I'm glad I brought it up.
Thank you for bringing up my Chevy with the 350 dual overhead cam short throw dipstick in it. Gotta have the short throw dipstick in it for weight reduction. Yep, sure.
Yes, sir.
It's a C1500. The C stands for cool. Yep.
I could drag this out, but I'm done. I'm not.
All right, so we got to end this thing, or I'm not going to eat dinner. So, everybody watching, or everybody, you're not watching, I promise. Everybody listening, once again, please go to iTunes, leave a review, preferably a written review, not just a star clicky on-y.
Right, but maybe not on this episode because this wasn't one of our finest moments. I don't think. Review the rest of them.
Yeah, maybe review the rest before you put in a good review. Don't do anything for that Tone Mob podcast because he's ahead of me in the ratings. I'm trying to beat him.
Tone Mob guy, he's an idiot. Anyway.
All right, man. We'll catch everyone next week. If you have any comments or questions, you can send it to either Blake or I, podcast@wamplerpedals.com, and whatever your email address is.
info@tonemob.com.
Sure, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. So, all right. Have a good week, man. We'll see everyone later. We'll talk to everyone later.
Later, hosen.